You've got me popping champagne, I'm at it again. Caught up in the moment, but not in.
Welcome to my blue dragon guide. In this guide I'm going to tell you how I like to kill blue dragons and some tips on how to kill them. Also just some general information on blue dragons. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I guess to get started I'll tell you a little bit about blue dragons. Blue dragons have a guaranteed drop of dragon bones and blue dragon hides, which blue dragon hides sell more than green dragon hides, and dragon bones, they're the same as green dragons. So blue dragons can be killed for profit, and it's a pretty decent way to make money. I don't think it's as good as green dragons, but blue dragons are more commonly ranged than meleeed, so it's a good way to make some money while you're leveling up your range. And blue dragons can be found in a couple locations, which all have safe spots, so it makes it pretty easy to range. One is the members dungeon, which is probably the most popular because it requires no quests and no level requirements. It's also the one I like to use, and the one I'll use for the purpose of this video. Another spot is the Heroes Guild, which requires the Heroes Quest. Unfortunately, there's only one blue dragon in the Heroes Guild, but it is pretty popular and a lot of people use it. Another good spot is the Ogre Inn Cave, which is located in Ogre City. It requires to at least start Watchtower Quest. I suggest doing the full quest, but it's a pretty good spot. There's probably 4 or 5 dragons, and it's not that crowded. The only downfall is it requires that quest, and it's a longer walk than any of the other places, but it's pretty good. And the last spot that blue dragons are is in the Slayer dungeon, which requires you to have at least 70 Slayer. The one I'm talking about is the last Slayer Masters dungeon. I can't think of their name right now, but yeah, you have to have a blue dragon task from that Slayer Master in order to even go in the dungeon. So yeah, pretty much you can't kill blue dragons there unless you're doing Slayer. Now that I've told you a little bit more about blue dragons, I think it's time for me to tell you how to kill them, or at least how I like to kill them. Again, I kill them in the Tavery dungeon, or the members dungeon, whatever you prefer to call it. I would not suggest using this location unless you have at least 70 agility, or 67 if you're going to use an agility potion, because in order to get to the blue dragons in a timely manner, you have to use the agility shortcut, which requires 70 agility. Getting to the blue dragons is actually quite simple. I like to start in Falador's west bank, and from there I head southwest until I get to the agility shortcut in the wall. I simply go through the shortcut, and then from there I head northwest until I reach the dungeon icon. Once I'm at the dungeon icon, I simply climb down the ladder, and from there I usually drink a dose of my agility potion, because I only have 67 agility, so the potion boosts me up to 70, and I go through the shortcut, and then I'm at the dragons. Killing blue dragons is pretty similar to killing green dragons. If you've seen any of my other dragon guides, you can use some of the techniques from those ones as well on blue dragons. Although blue dragons are probably harder to kill, not only because they're higher level, but also because they're more crowded and they're in a non-multi-combat zone. So the real challenge is clicking on the dragon first. That's why it is very important to remember which dragon responds first. This will give you an advantage of being able to click on the dragon first, meaning you'll be able to attack it first. That is a crucial part to blue dragons, considering that almost all the worlds are packed and there's going to be multiple people on all the locations. As you can see, the dragon on the left has already been killed. You can see its bones. And the dragon on the right has just been killed. So I know that the dragon on the left will respawn before the dragon on the right, and when the dragon on the right respawns, it will be soon after the dragon on the left. So this can be very helpful on clicking on the dragon first, and also since I'm ranging, this will give me a chance to kill 2 dragons at once. This is a technique I call multi-dragoning, and in order to do this you have to be in a safe spot and you also have to be ranging. This is also a really good technique for blue dragons because you can kill 2 at once and other players cannot steal your dragon from you as long as you're doing it in the correct order. Which is one of the reasons why range is more popular at the blue dragons than melee. It's sort of hard to do at first, but with a little practice it becomes pretty easy. Let me show you some more tips on how to do that. The hardest part about multi-dragoning is attacking the second dragon and remaining in your safe spot. That's why it is important to remember what dragon respawns first, and also position yourself in a spot to where you can attack 2 dragons without moving. But once you've attacked your second dragon, it is pretty easy to attack both dragons without allowing another person to take one of them. All you have to do is attack one dragon and then switch over to the next dragon. And if you keep doing this between your hits, you will be able to keep both dragons under your control and not allow anyone to attack them. So what I like to do is I like to just click on one of the dragons, wait for the numbers to appear, and then as soon as I can, click on the other dragon and keep switching back and forth between the dragons until one is killed. You won't always be able to do this, but when you can, I definitely suggest it. It also makes it handy to know what dragons respawn first, because since you killed both the dragons, you know what ones respawn first. And overall, it just allows you to get more bones and hides faster, which is always good. Another technique that you've probably seen in my other videos is called half dragoning, and what it is you simply do more than half the damage on the dragon and then leave it for another player to kill. This will allow you to attack another dragon, and if another player attacks the dragon that you previously already did damage to, you will still receive the drop for it. As you can see, that player attacked one of the dragons I already did damage to. I got the drop, and I was able to attack another dragon that, if he didn't attack my dragon, he would have been able to attack and probably beat me to it. So it's more of a distraction that allows you to steal other people's dragons. It's sort of mean to do, but you gotta do what you gotta do to make money, right? If you're still not having much luck killing the blue dragons, you can set up a cannon. This will allow you to kill a couple more dragons, and also it will, more importantly, probably make people leave. Sometimes when I can't find a good world, I'll set up a cannon and use the cannon until people leave. Although I do not suggest using the cannon full time. Most often you lose a little bit of money using the cannon, but it's useful to get people to leave from time to time. As far as gear, you probably want to bring your best gear. If you're ranging, bring your best range gear. For me, that's probably Void with a rune crossbow, because I like to use the anti-fire dragon shield. Some people like to use a crystal bow, which works just as good in my opinion. And some people prefer to use an unholy book instead of an anti-fire dragon shield. That's pretty much up to you, and since you're in a safe spot most of the time, it doesn't really matter what you bring because you probably won't die. If you're going to melee them, of course bring your best melee gear. Also remember, if you have a slayer task, remember to bring your slayer helm. That will help kill them faster. And yeah, as far as gear, it's pretty much up to you, and with a little bit of trying it out, you'll find what works best for you. Alright, I think that pretty much covers everything. I want to give a shout out to Shadow Sage. He did some agility with me, and now he's killing blue dragons with me. He got 70 agility as well, so congrats for him. Thank you for watching, and I hope it helped.